Uh, this is this week's video update about where I'm at with my GoFundMe and my practice and just where I'm at. Um, Definitely hitting a wall authentically. That's just what it is. I'm hitting a wall. And it's illuminating again, just like how hard it is for me to initiate things. And I know I keep saying this, but I just feel like it would be getting easier, but it feels like it's getting harder. So usually that means I'm on the verge of a big breakthrough. Um, when I go and do these things that are way out of my comfort zone, there seems to be always like this last, you know, part of my subconscious or whatever it is that's just clinging to what I've always been, and it becomes really hard, and I feel like giving up. I won't give up, but I definitely feel like giving up, and it's just like I have to push myself to keep going. And I think one trait that I have that's an asset from my childhood is I do have that drive to not give up um, in me. Like I've persevered through so much. So we're just trying to align with that and keep focus on that. Like started asking myself, which seems like a pretty apropos question anytime I go out of my comfort zone or anyone. But if every obstacle, circumstance is in your way, what are you willing to do to go after your dream? How far will you go? And yeah, definitely the feeling anytime I go out of my comfort zone and go for something, this is stuff that I learned in my leadership program, um, but that I'd also just kind of inherently have been doing on my own, but in smaller amounts, uh, which is, that all these obstacles, infinite obstacles are always there. It's always in your head. You could say it's money, or you could say it's you don't have this or that, but really, it's a psychological thing. It's in your head. You're just focusing on those things to defeat yourself. And yeah, I'm really been sinking into how much my mind is a perfectionist, which seems odd because I've never, I guess, tried real hard to be or go after something. I usually just don't do it, or if I do it, I achieve it. My mind is very negative, right? I'm a deconstructionist, so when I heard about perfectionism, it didn't resonate at first. The idea of what a perfectionist is, but um, it's exactly the way my mind is. My mind is just extremely negative, and it just took me time to really think about it, and just kept seeing patterns and like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that is how I am. It's a interesting place. Like I'm having so many breakthroughs and realizations and shifts every day throughout this whole process that there's a part of me that just wants to be safe and secure, and even in poverty or unworthiness, or like not having stuff or playing small, you know to use cliches, but they work in this instance. And yeah, I feel pretty good when I align with where I'm going instead of all these circumstances and obstacles. But it's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard to get out of your head. I'm grateful for the people that have helped me, not just monetarily, but also like with support and love and accountability and like just like, hey, dude, you can do it. Just keep going. Um, all those things are new to me. Maybe they've always been there, but I haven't received them. I don't know, but I'm receiving them now. Um, and I would say that's a direct relation to all the work I've been doing with Tantra. Tantra, I do my daily practice in various forms. I do bioenergetic work, and it's really just a practice of receiving. And I feel safe enough to receive by myself. So once I kind of build that muscle, then I can go out and actually receive from people and environments and things like that. It's still not 100%. I still, reflexively haven't learned to completely trust being out in the unknown and really being in relationship with reality. Reality is just nothing but insecurity. The mind wants something else, but life at its essence, if you're in touch with it, it's just insecurity. There's nothing that's guaranteed. So I'm just really focusing on what I want, what I'm willing to do, and doing it. And I think that's the hardest part, is the doing. I'm so used to just thinking. I'm a deep thinker. And it's very easy to get lost in that, to just be analytical. And that doing for me is the hardest part. And then once I push through and I do it, I'm fine. Once I'm in it, I'm fine. It's just that initial step is always the hardest for me. It really is. And it seems to be, like I said in the beginning of this video, it seems to be getting harder, not easier. So, maybe because the resources aren't there as much as before. I don't know. But it's definitely getting harder. But I'm doing my best to enjoy all of it, from a place of being in love with reality. Just seeing the beauty in everything. And I have to catch myself, because definitely my default is just to rip stuff apart from a negative kind of outlook, because it's all there if I want it, like I see it, but it's what I choose. And then one of the big breakthroughs I've had so many, but one really like just hit me was, and I don't know if I talked about this in the last video. Sometimes I get caught up in my emotions. I'm an emotional man. This process has been really helping me connect with that, and it's definitely a gift. But I'm not used to my emotions, because I've avoided them for so long, so I can kind of get lost in them. But one of the huge breakthroughs I had was that pretty much every action I've ever taken, most of my life, was motivated by toxic shame that's inside of me, and avoiding shame, feeling it, and I would either project it out, or run from it, or freeze, and or fight, the warrior in me. And I think that's really what's behind the this feeling of being stuck or frozen and initiating anything. Yeah, so it was kind of like being alive for 40 years, thinking you're human, and then one day you realize you're a robot. Like, just like, oh, I've been, I haven't really been in control of myself this entire time. It's all been coming from a place of survival, really. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at. Doing my daily practice every day. That part's easy because I enjoy being alone. I can just connect with myself or with source energy, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. Um, I love it. I feel great. I can just fill up with amazing energy and then I'm good for the rest of the day. But the whole point of this huge shift for me is to help people and connect with people. And there's something to be gained for me to do that. And that's really the hardest part. It really is. So with that said, I have I think I have 8, 10 days to come up with the rest of the money for this module. So I think I need about $3,500 more. I have a few more people to ask, probably the harder ones for whatever is in my mind. It's hard for me. But I was walking earlier and I, realized that part of the reason why it's hard is that I don't feel worthy to ask and I don't feel worthy to receive either the rejection or um, help, the support. I just don't feel, like that I deserve those things. And so I'm avoiding asking or initiating. It's really initiation because it's not just asking. The irony being, if this were for somebody else, if someone was in need, I would just immediately act, no problem, bam, I'm in. It's funny how the mind works. So that's where I'm at. Uh, if you could donate, I would really appreciate it. If you know anyone that you could talk to from, if you believe in me from your heart and ask them, I would appreciate it. Or, I'll call them. Just talk to me. Say, hey, here's the number. Call this person. I told them you're going to call them, and I'll do it. I feel anxiety saying that, but I'll do it. I know what I want. I'm not giving up. So that's where I'm at. Appreciate everyone. And then I'll see you next week. I'll let you know where I'm at.